Alright. This is the video for the exponent and radical test. Here we go. Oops. Alright. So number 1, we would use the rule 1, 7 times 2 is 14, x squared times x to the fifth, you add answer 14x to the 7th. Number 2, we use the division rule. 12 and 10 are not exponents, so we simplify them normal, so 12 over 10 simplifies down to 6 over 5. You could use your calculator to do that in the using the math frac tool. Y to the 8th over y to the 2nd. Division, so we subtract the exponents and put y to the 6th in the numerator. Z to the 5th divided by z 5th cancels the 1, so we don't even need to put it. Answer right there. Number 3, we can multiply these two. There's an invisible 1 in front of that z. 2 times 1 is 2. Z to the 3rd times z to the 6th, we add there 2z to the 9th over 14z squared. There's more to do because I can simplify 2 over 14 to 1 over 7, and then z to the 9th over z to the 2nd. Subtract because that's division. That would be z to the 7th. And then since I only have that 1 in front, it would be best to erase it. There's your answer, z to the 7th over 7. Here we go. Number 4. Nothing to do with the x squared, however you have the y to the negative 3rd, so that needs to move down to the denominator, put it next to the z, and then x squared stays up top. There's nothing more to do because they're all different bases. Those are the first 4. Moving on. Number 5. 3 to the 3rd power is 27. V to the 3rd is just v to the 3rd times 3 v to the 3rd, multiply here. 27 times 3 is 81. V to the 3rd times v to the 3rd is v to the 6th. Add those exponents since we had multiplication. When you have something that has a negative exponent, it needs to move. So we move it down to the denominator. What's left in the numerator is the 1. Number 7. Negative 10 over 15, again, use the math frac tool. That is going to simplify down to negative 2 over 3. Y to the 3rd over y to the 0. I have division, so I subtract the exponents. 3 minus 0 is 3, so I keep y to the 3rd in the numerator. Negative 3 times negative 8 is 24. M to the 6th times m to the 1st, I add there. N to the 2nd times n to the 4th is n to the 6th. Nothing more to do. Here we go. Number 9. 8 over 6 simplifies down to 4/3. Have to simplify those first, guys. X to the negative 2nd is going to move down to the denominator next to the x to the 5th, and then that is multiplication in between. Y to the 10th stays up top. However, we're going to move y to the 6th up next to it because it had that negative exponent. There's more to do here. Y to the 10th times y to the 6th is y to the 16th because I add because of the multiplication. In the denominator, x to the 5th times x to the 2nd is x to the 7th. Anything raised to a power of 0 is 1. The answer is 1 for that one. Moving on. Negative 3 squared. Make sure that since this is in parentheses, I can put it in parentheses in the calculator. So it's going to be 9 power to a power. That's where I multiply, guys. 9a to the 8th, b squared. Bam. Right here. This is just simply parentheses back to back here mean multiplication. So I'm going to go negative 2 times negative 3 is 6. A to the 1st times a to the 2nd, that's multiplication, so I add the exponents. B to the 3rd times b to the 5th, again multiplication, so I add the exponents. 6a to the 3rd, b to the 8th. Number 13. 6 times the square root. I got to break down 50 and I'm looking for pairs. 10 times 5. No pair, so I continue. 10 breaks down into 5 times 2. And 5 was prime. I have a pair of 5s, so I move one of them outside. That 6 turns into a 30. The other 5 goes away, so all I'm left with is a 2. Can't break that down. No pairs left, so I'm done. This one, I'm looking, because of that 3 right there, I'm looking for triples. So when I break down 54, I'm going to go 9 times 6. No triples, so I continue. 9 breaks down into 3 times 3. 6 breaks down into 2 times 3. I have triple 3s. One of them moves to the outside, the other 2 go away, and you're only left with 2. 15. Looking for pairs. Break down 9 into 3 times 3, x to the 4th. You have to remember that you're using the exponent rules. So this is going to be x squared times x squared, and then you have y to the 5th, which would be y squared times y squared times y to the 1st. And then you have the z. I have a pair of 3s. I have a pair of x squareds. I have a pair of y to the 2nd. So now outside, I have 3x squared y to the 2nd. And then on the inside, I have y to the 1st, z to the 1st, which is just yz. And there's nothing to do because there's no pairs here. This one, because of that 3, I'm looking for triples. So I go 5 times the cube root. 80 breaks down into 10 times 8. X to the 3rd breaks down into x times x times x. Y to the 7th would be y squared, y squared, y squared, y to the 1st. And by the way, x to the x axis is x to the 1st, x to the 1st, x to the 1st. Triple here, triple here. Now on the outside I have 5x y squared times the cube root of, continue to break down 10. 10 is going to be 5 times 2. 8 is going to be 2 times 2 times 2. And then y is just going to be y. I have 4 2's, but I only need 3 of them. Circle 3 of them. Bring it outside, multiply times the 5. That becomes 10 y squared times the cube root of, so those are gone, times the cube root of 5. Oops, I'm sorry. There's no triples left, so I multiplied 5 and 2 together to get 10. Attach the y, and you're done.